Alright, so now we're going to put the sprockets back on, and they obviously have certain places to go to. So this top sprocket has magnets on the back, little sensors, for this sensor here to detect. So this one obviously goes on the top. You'll also notice that it can only go on one way. We have a little lip groove here, and that's how it slides on. So just turn it, and you'll feel it grab. Once it grabs, you need to put the bolt in. Like that. And then the lower one, same thing. Again, only one way it can go on. Once it grabs, bolt in. And then for this side, you have these two right here. Again, only one way it can go on. You should feel it go in there. There it is. And then the bolt goes in. And speaking of which, you can put Loctite on these if you want. I usually don't. It's all on preference. Some people will believe that might be a sin not to do such a thing, but I think it's just fine. And there we go. And how do you tell the difference on these two, since they look similar? One's going to have this lip right here, and one is not, but also it'll tell you, this is the intake cam, this is the exhaust cam, and it'll say right on here, REX, and then REN. So REN for intake, EX for exhaust. So that's how you tell the difference. And I believe the R stands for right side if you were behind the engine. Alright, now it's time to torque these bolts down. So the manual says to torque it down 26 to 32 foot-pounds. I'm going to meet it roughly in the middle at 30 foot-pounds. That way it gives me a little bit of leeway. How I do this is, obviously, if you go turn and torque this, the sprocket's going to turn as well. So first let me just get it started here. So I get myself a big wrench, and you can see if you hold it right about there. Hold that in place. Now it's a pain to remove these, it's another thing to tighten them. As you can see. And there we go, it's tightened. Easy as that. Let's go down to this next one here. I'll just hold it, same thing. And it's tightened. Did grind a little bit off there, but that's okay, it's still good to go. For this next part, hopefully you have an old timing belt, but since these are inside the gear, it's going to be a little harder to do what we just did on those ones. So I'll wrap the timing belt around this sprocket, around the center cam, in between the water pump and this gear here, and then I'll put my weight on the bottom of the belt. That ideally should be enough to torque this. Did have to squeeze it in there a bit. This bottom one we will have to wrap it around both cams. Same thing. Bring it down here. Should be good right there. Putting my weight on it. And it's torqued right there. And there we have it. That's how you get the cam sprockets on.